Okay, so in this video we're going to create a Cloudflare account to host our domain for DNS resolution. So we've set up a domain controller and a exchange server, so now we want to be able to send and receive email through the internet through our domain and host our domain, our web page or whatever. So first thing you want to do is go to cloudflare.com. We're going to want to sign up for an account. So we're going to give it our account, our dummy account. You can go in and change this later. I think it's outlook.com. Go ahead and give it a password. Okay, create an account. Okay, now that's done. Okay, so now we want to go to our email account and verify a Cloudflare account. So it's sent a link. Okay, we're now verified. So let's go back and we want to go to websites and add a site. This is going to be your domain name. Make sure you spell it correctly. Click Add Site. There we go. We want to select our plan. We want the free plan, $0. Continue. It's going to scan for existing DNS records. And I don't know where it picked that up from, but we're going to get rid of all of that. None of that is correct. Okay, so I guess it was pulling that all from DNS, which this website used to be in. So I went ahead and deleted it all so we can set it up together. So basically, you need to get to this screen. If you're not here, go to DNS, and it should bring this up. First thing you want to do is you're going to want to change your name servers. So I have GoDaddy. So what we're going to do is go to GoDaddy here and go to your domain and scroll down till you get to Manage DNS. And then go ahead and change them. Enter my own name servers, advanced. So we're going to change this one. And then we're going to take this one here and change it as well. And go ahead and click Save. Yes, I consent. Continue. So, it's in progress within 48 hours. So I'm going to pause it and see how long it takes. Okay, so it was pretty much instantaneous. I refreshed this page here and it changed instantly. So we can go ahead and get out of that. You're not going to need your domain. Now, this is GoDaddy. It's probably pretty much the same everywhere else you go. Just need to change your name servers to point to the Cloudflare. So go ahead and get out of there. I went into overview here because it was saying under Cloudflare, it was saying that you needed to update your DNS settings. Okay, so now we can go to DNS and we can start adding our records. So what we're going to need is our IP address. So you're going to need your WAN address from your Pfsense router. Go ahead and log in or whatever router you're using. I suggest Pfsense, as we've been using through this whole tutorial, because we're going to set it up to auto sync with it. So go ahead and copy your address and then go back to your DNS And we're going to start adding records. So let's go ahead and add our domain. Oops. So we're going to add and I'm going to copy this, make sure I got it all right. And this is going to be for our standard domain. Go ahead and paste that. We're going to turn proxy off. Time to live auto. This is going to be an A record. Go ahead and save it. Oh, what is required? Oh, Control X, Control V, sorry. Did I do that? I need to go back and get my IP address. Sorry about that. Can't copy and paste both. What? Copy. There we go. Can't have both of them copy and pasted, so we're going to have to type this one every time. There we go. That's what we wanted. Okay, I didn't want to search. I was putting it in the search. Okay, so now we're going to add a CNAME record. And this one is going to be www, same address. Oh, sorry, it's got to point to your domain name. Turn the proxy off on that as well. There we go. Yes, because it's a CNAME. It's not a record. It's not an A record. Okay, so now we're going to add one for our mail, and this one is going to type, it's going to be an MX, no, it's going to be an A record, sorry. This one's going to point to our IP, and then we're going to add our auto discover for it. Same thing, point it to your IP address. Sorry, I haven't done this a million times, so I'm not really fluent in doing this and getting it absolutely correct every second. Okay, and then we're going to need to add an MX record now. We're going to do, hang on a second. Yes, kingworks.com, and that is going to point to Kingworks. Sorry, that's my other domain. That is going to point to your website, and we're going to give it a priority of 0, I guess, or 10, or what. You can give it whatever you want, doesn't matter. Okay, so we got our MX, we got our auto discovery, we got our A record to point to it, we got our CNAME to our www. We need a text record and a DMARC record. So we're going to add a text record here. We're going to call it mail, and we're going to do it B equals SPF 1. Now, if you don't add these two that I'm adding now, your mail will probably get rejected, or it will get put into your junk email. So you want to add these two records that I'm adding. So there's that text record. And now we're going to do one for DMARC. So it's another text record. And this one's going to be underscore DMARC. And then I've got this here written out so I can just copy it. And all these, I'll put these in the description at the bottom as well. And here you want your domain name. So go ahead and save that, and I believe that is it for creating DNS records. I'm going to pause and verify, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I noticed a typo here. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And it says use @ for root, so that's all we should have to do. It should put it in there automatically. Yes, there it goes. So if you wanted to edit any of them just to make sure they're the same, to match your domain, you just do that and it'll automatically put them in there. So we're going to move on to our Pfsense router here. And we're going to go ahead and go to the firewall and create some rules. So we want to allow for, hang on a second, sorry, I want to make sure it's recording. We want to allow for our web, our HTTPS, and our SMTP traffic. So we're going to go ahead and add, and you want to be sure to be on your WAN port. So make sure you're on your WAN port. We're going to add, we're going to leave this the same, this the same, this the same, any, yes, and we're going to do, this is going to be for HTTP, any, save, apply changes. Okay, gonna wait for it. Okay, we're done. So we're gonna create 2 more for HTTPS and sorry, I'm looking at something. And SMTP. So let's go ahead and add both of those. Pretty much all the same. HTTPS. This is what I was looking at. Give it a description, save. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to edit this one real quick and give it a description because I don't like things without descriptions. And then we're going to add our SMTP. SMTP, there we go. Save. Apply changes. Monitor it. It was probably already done. It was. Firewall. Go to our rules. They should be there. Okay, so now we're going to test it. Okay, now that we've got all that created, we want to go to our domain controller and set some DNS records there. So go ahead and remote into it. Going to start here. Well, we've already created all the shortcuts here. So you want to go into DNS. If you don't have these shortcuts already created, you want to go into your administrative tools and then go into your DNS right here. So, just going to add a couple of records real quick. I'm going to click on the plus. Now this obviously won't apply to you if you haven't followed. Well, it will if you're doing an Exchange server and you've set up a domain and you're following along. Otherwise, it really doesn't apply. But being this part of this series that I'm doing, it does. So first thing we want to do is create an A record. This is going to be mail. This is for our internal DNS. Add the IP address of your email server. We're going to create a reverse lookup zone. See if I've even done that. No, it failed. So what we need to do is go create a reverse lookup zone real quick. New zone. Next. Well, you see that? Right click, new zone, next, primary zone, store it in Active Directory, next, yes, IPv4, yes, 192.168.1, that's all you have to put, or whatever yours is. This just happens to be mine. Next, secure only, next, finish. Alright, now we got our reverse zone. So go back to your domain name, double click on that, uncheck it and check it, click apply, and then it'll create a record. I mean, you don't necessarily have to have that, but it's good if you want to do a NS lookup. Okay, so we got that. We want to do another one, another A record. This is going to be your www. That's going to point to the same thing. So yeah, now it'll do a reverse record, not complain. Okay, we're done with that. What else do we want to do? We want to do an MX record, and I think that's it. So there we go. This is going to be mail. Mail.lastportal.net. You can go to browse, look for it yourself. Lastportal.net. Mail. There you go. Same thing. Tell it okay. There it is. Your mail exchanger's done. Leave it at 10 and we're good to go. Okay, so one other thing, we can get out of here now, but one other thing we want to do is if you're running Windows 11, I guess it really doesn't matter, whatever version of Windows, you need to go into your network settings here, go to Ethernet, and you need to go down to your DNS settings, and you want to point it to your new server if you hadn't already done that. This will be your domain controller. That way it'll resolve locally. Okay, now that we've got our rules created, we need to configure some NAT entries. So go to Firewall, go to NAT. We're going to add a new rule. It's going to be WAN, IPv4. We're going to go ahead and do both TCP and UDP. WAN address, yes. Destination port range. This is going to be HTTP. I'm going to go to single host. Put in the IP address of your mail server. Okay, redirect target, also HTTP. Description, HTTP, default, add associated filter rule. Yes. Save. Okay. I'm going to add another one. Do the same thing. WAN address. I'm going to do HTTPS. Single host, same address. HTTPS. Yeah. Save. I'm going to add SMTP. No, I have to go add that other one. Or change it. Single host. SMTP. Save. Okay, this one here, we'll change it to, I think all we need is TCP, but I like to put both. I mean, it really doesn't make any sense, to be honest with you. There we go. Alright, and then apply changes. Then go to monitor. Done. Return that. Take a look at it. Okay. So on to the next step. Okay, so let's do a couple of quick fixes. So this is really only for Firefox if you're a Firefox user. So you see where I tried to go to my ORA portal for my mail server and it's telling me it's not found? Well, it's using a Cloudflare DNS, which is really kind of strange. You think it would find it. But for HTTPS, it's using Cloudflare. So what we need to do is we need to go to our settings. And then we need to scroll down till we get to our network settings. Click on that. And right here, take out this check mark, enable DNS over HTTPS. Tell it okay. Let's go ahead and close out of the browser. We'll open it back up. Now let's try the address. Oops. Well, if I can get it typed in there right. And there we go. So now it's using your local DNS, and it'll go ahead, should take you right to your login page. Well, again, if you type it right, there you go. Yeah, there it is. So we got that one. So let's do the other one real quick. There's another little quick fix for your DNS. Not this one doesn't really matter, but we're going to go ahead and remote into our domain controller. So this is just more of a personal preference, I guess. It really should be done though. So if you do an NS lookup on your mail server, if it gives you all this and says unknown right here, that's because a pointer was never created for this. So what you need to do is go to your DNS, which again, we've all seen it. Go to your Windows Administrative Tools, click on your DNS. I just have a shortcut. Go to your reverse lookup zones, right click on it, go to new pointer, there you go, right click on it, go to new pointer. You have to highlight it and then right click on it. Don't do it just like that. You gotta make it show up. Right click on it, new pointer. That's fine, leave it that, go browse, and we're just looking for your domain controller. Right here, which is mine is LabCorp. You do that, you tell it okay, and it'll create it, and then it'll start, when you do an NS lookup, you'll get this instead of unknown. So I just wanted to show you those two quick little things. Okay, so remember in the back of the beginning of this video here, and I hope you're watching all the way through, because if not, you're gonna have an issue. So we had to create those text records. Well, there's another text record we need to create. So just to show you, we're going to send an email out of our out of our new domain to our dummy account here at Outlook. I'm going to go ahead and send that over. And wait for it to show up. And there it is. And see, it showed up in the junk email. Let's go ahead and reply to it to make sure everything's at least working through the firewall and making sure we can send and receive mail. So we're going to send it back now. And it should show up here shortly. And there you go, it did. But you see how it went into that inbox? So we're going to have to go on over to our server. So go ahead and remote desktop into that, which I already have. Okay, so you're going to want to go to this website here. Let me make a note of it so I can put it in the documentation. And we're going to need a DKIM signer. So let's go ahead and download this. Oh, I don't want to open the file, I want to open the folder. Go ahead and get it extracted. Okay, so let's go ahead and run the configuration DKIM signer. More info, run anyway. Yes. I'm going to go ahead and let it do its thing here, and then we'll come back to it. Okay. So I've been sitting here staring at this for, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes going, what's it doing? Well, you gotta tell it what to do. Now we'll wait for this and I'll come back when it's done. Okay, so it's going through its process here. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and close it. Okay, so it installed. So let's go find it. You gotta forgive me. This is I don't do this every day, so I have to kind of relearn as I go. Let's see here. Let me find it 1 second. Right, never mind. It's staring me right in the face. Okay. So I believe it's go back to the configuration. Load the default values. Okay, so it's installed, it's running. Change log. Okay, so let me go through a configuration of this real quick. Make sure I've got it right, and then I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so basically you want to go to domain settings here. Let's add a domain. The domain name is your domain. This is going to be S1224. We're going to set it to 1024. Okay, well that's what it has. We're going to go ahead and generate a new key. I'll save it under keys. Go ahead and copy that. Now, let's go back to our Cloudflare account. We're going to edit this. We're going to get rid of all of this. I'm going to paste the new one in there. This should be the same, so let's go ahead and save it. Let's go back. Check it, no record found. Okay, well, give me just a second and let me make sure I got it right. Okay, so right here I had a capital S. It did not like that. It had that little exclamation right there and it said use letters or numbers, which I did, but I didn't see anything about capital, but it did not like that capital S. So I went ahead and did that, and then I generated a new key. I copied this key right here after I regenerated it. I went back to my text record. I set it on a TTL for 5 minutes as well. And I went ahead and deleted what was in here and repasted that new key. So now it's got that new key. So after I did that, I went back to my server. I went over here. Well, after I did that, I clicked save domain so it would save it. I ran a check on it. It still says no record found. It may be looking at local DNS. I don't know, but that's not really a concern for me. So go back to information and then just restart the server. That's all I've done. So I went ahead and tested it as well just to make sure. So let's go ahead and send a new mail. We're going to send it to that Outlook account. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and send it, and now it should show up in the inbox. And there it is. No, that one was the first one. So here we go. There, that's funny. So reply. Go ahead and send it back and make sure it comes back. And so that's it. So now we can go back to our Exchange DKIM signer. Go ahead and close it. Let's go ahead and create a shortcut of this on the desktop. That way we can get to it if we ever need to change it for whatever reason. But you shouldn't need to. So anyway, guys, that's it. That's how to set up a Cloudflare account and get your email flowing back and forth. If you like this video, please leave a comment, a thumbs up, and I'd appreciate it if you subscribe. Thank you very much.